It's your planning period. Relax. You're in the Teacher's Lounge on Ed Pop.
Hey, it's me, Seamus, everybody, and today is a little special Teacher's Lounge session because I have my family. I have a lot of teachers in my family. So, Mom, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Josie O'Hara, and I teach world languages.
How many years have you been teaching?
29 years.
And what level?
High school.
My younger sister, Maeve, she teaches math in Philadelphia. Maeve, why don't you tell us a little bit more about you?
I'm Maeve O'Hara Sue. I've been teaching for 10 years, and I can't believe it because I'm young, but I've been teaching for 10 years.
How young are you?
I'm only 32, but...
That's not young.
No, but for a teacher, I mean, people still look at me and they say, oh, you're a young teacher, and I say, well, I've been teaching 10 years. I'm not new.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maeve and I actually started at the same time.
It's true.
I'm 4 years older than her, but I was 4 years behind.
Yeah.
So when was your favorite teaching year and why?
I find something favorite about every year. I'm always amazing myself because I'll think, how come I didn't know that before? Or, why am I learning that now? Because I've been doing this for so long. But every year, for some element, is my favorite year. Every class seems to be a favorite class for whatever reason.
That's a good mom answer.
Yeah. Now they're starting to blur.
So if you had to choose a favorite year, you got to pick one. Matter of life and death.
I think I can narrow down to 2005, which was the year that we started. I traveled to both the direct exchanges that we started, one to Belgium and one to Barcelona, and that was like a real banner year.
I would just like to note that 2005 is also the year after I graduated and Mom no longer had me on her back at school all day long because I went to school with her. So the year right after I was out is Mom's favorite. Woo! No longer had Maeve on my back.
But I had a little more autonomy to do some of the things that I wanted to do because I was department chair then. After.
And Maeve wasn't there.
And Maeve free, yeah, absolutely.
So just to be clear,
I would make you late to school every day,
The listeners, Maeve she attended high school as a student where my mother taught. And so my mother and Maeve went to school every day together.
And I made her late.
And apparently my mom is saying that the year where she no longer had Maeve, man, that was the best year.
Well, that was a turning point in my career, too.
Yeah. Turning point in your career, why?
Because I became department chair, and
Because you no longer had Maeve to bog you down, so you were free to be department chair.
Kind of things like that.
I remember when I was a kid, you had some problems. There were some students that were ordering pizzas and sending them to the house. And I remember as a kid feeling really, really bad. Could you share what happened there?
I hardly remember this because it was, I think, my first year of teaching. And that incident, happened. And also the container of sour milk that was left under the sombrero in the back of the room.
We'll get to that one, too.
That made the room stink. And I honestly can't remember how I dealt with it. But that was like pranks.
You kept getting pizza to the house, which as a kid I was thinking awesome. But they wanted us to pay for it. And we weren't going to pay for it because we didn't order it.
Right.
Maeve, do you remember that?
No, I must have been too young.
You were too young.
She started teaching when I was pretty young. Do you know who sent the pizza?
Yes, I remember. I'm not going to say the name, but I remember.
That particular student followed me to my next job. For a long time, I taught the novel Don Quixote, and there were mixed reviews about it, but surprisingly, a lot of the students later on told me that was their favorite. You wouldn't know it while we were doing it, or that they used it in their English AP exam when they had to talk about idealism versus realism. So that was great. But one time I asked the students we were reviewing before the AP exam, I said, well, what do you remember most about learning, about reading Don Quixote? And there were two things they remembered. One was that they learned how to say prostituta, which is prostitute. Of course. And the other was that in the text, the words hijo de puta was used, which means son of a bee, right? They remembered that. So of all the things that they had to remember, they remembered those two.
Of course.
And that's very memorable, yeah.
It was very, very funny to me,
Okay. I've got one that is a funny memory of mine. Okay, so I was a large comprehensive high school. I was student teaching, so I was 21. I hadn't even turned 22 yet, and the students were, 16, 17. And I tried so hard to really build meaningful relationships with them and kind of break through and have some sort of authority in any way. And there was a lot of management issues at the school, right? A lot of behavioral issues. And one day I'm teaching and I'm so proud of myself and, it's going well. And I've broken through with a lot of the kids and I'm up there and we're doing our thing. And he took out of his backpack a bag of, I think it was peanut M&Ms. And you're not supposed to have food. This is one of these policies, right? We're like, okay, you're not supposed to have food. All right, so then what? How do you enforce it? What do you do? What's the, I'm a student teacher. How am I supposed to get in touch with anybody? And so I was totally on my own. And I think I like, you're not supposed to have it. And at some point there was this back and forth, and I'm remembering it and laughing because I think I like snatched the bag from the kid. Like somehow I was like, ha, like I gotcha.
Oh, you did like a gotcha thing.
Like a gotcha, which is not at all what I do now, right? But this is why it's funny. It's like I was 21. I didn't know what was going on.
Right,
I was just trying to teach, right? So I'm like, gotcha. And the kid, I think, did a gotcha back. Like somehow he got them back. Now, meanwhile, this is ridiculous because the entire class was no longer learning. This is not what you should do as a teacher. I made it all about this bag of peanut M&Ms. And I remember thinking to myself, well, what am I supposed to do now? Because I have to somehow follow through. And so one of the administrators was walking by, and I like peeked my head at the door and I said, hey, can you help me? And I somehow relayed, and I said, I just need the kid out of the classroom. Like, there needs to be a follow-through so the rest of the students can see that there's a follow-through. And the administration did not help me at all, didn't take the kid out. Like, it was just totally flat. This is why I'm saying it's kind of sad.
They then grabbed the bag.
That there was no resolution. There's no resolution to this, and so it's so sad. So, yeah, it was like I got you with the student, and I remember it fondly and also sadly.
I was student teaching. It was in Los Angeles, and I'm brand new there. I see these kids. They're doing some kind of deal under the table, and I'm thinking, oh man, I'm catching drug dealing. This is my first experience in Los Angeles public schools. Right. This is a drug deal, so I kind of go over, and I'm a tough guy, man. I go over there. I'm like, all right, let me see. Show me what's happening under the table. Show me now.
Right.
And they pull out their little baggie.
And it's Skittles.
Baby carrots.
Oh. Even better than candy.
Yeah, no, they were being very nutritious. And so I'm like, I caught you guys stealing
baby
carrots.
Stealing carrots.
There you go, guys. No, and I'm like, proceed. Next time, don't. I mean, the carrots can be a gateway to celery and beets.
No, right.
There was one time I had a girl, and she happened to be a little bit heavier. And I was so frustrated as a teacher because every day, no matter what was happening, she had like a family-sized bag of potato chips, some kind of chips.
Okay.
And it's one of those cringeworthy moments that you have where you just wish you could take it back as soon as it comes out of your mouth. You just said something out of frustration. And I said something to her like, Mary, would you put the feed bag down? No. I did not.
Yikes.
I didn't mean it like she's a horse. But subconsciously, I probably was calling it a feedback for a reason.
Yeah.
Now, this is not my best moment. And man, I just like a chill went up my spine. I thought, uh-oh. Mm-hmm. And so I apologized to her later.
Yeah. I've apologized a lot.
Yeah, I had to apologize, but I thought to myself, man, I really hope this doesn't get out of hand because that was such a moment of frustration from me. Mm-hmm. I called it a feedbag.
Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
There's some implications there. And I probably shouldn't have.
What happened with the kid?
She didn't care. She didn't care one bit. She didn't care about my apology. She didn't care about the feedback comment. She didn't care about anything. She wanted to know where the chips were. That's what she cared about.
This one particular young person, I loved him. He had focus issues. He had ADD, and he knew that. It was always a conversation with him about, okay, how can we help you focus? And one of the things I realized was that, okay, he likes to put his feet up on the desk and kind of relax in a particular way, and then it helps him focus. And so I didn't care. Go for it. So he was doing that, and I gave him this partner who was really soft-spoken. I do a lot of partner work in class. So soft-spoken partner, and then like totally loud, funny, boisterous Bo. He was great. Fast forward a couple weeks, they've been working together, and the partnership's going well. I'm seeing that the two of them work well together. And then I noticed one day that when Brandon was a soft-spoken boy, when Brandon would give an answer, Bo was so proud of him that Bo would start like patting his head, saying like, "Good job, Brandon." and this is the funny piece. I'm looking at this and I'm going, "Oh my God, poor Brandon! This is so bad. Like he's so shy. Like Brandon must hate this."
It's so patronizing.
And I went over to them and I said, like, "Bo, Brandon, do you not like this?" And Brandon was like, "No, it's okay. I kind of like it."
He likes it. It's exactly what he needs.
And Brandon actually in a teacher conference with Brandon and his parents, I mentioned it and I said, "Brandon, do you want a different partner?" And Brandon goes, "No, I love working with Bo." Really
brings out the best of me.
Yeah, they really appreciate it. I
had this one kid, Justin. I noticed that just like you were saying, he he would pay attention. He just needed to lay his belly down, like a seal, down on the table every day, and then he'd pay attention. He was actually a pretty good student.
Right, Bo was a good student.
Again, a complete rascal, but a great student. He would lay his belly down on the table and, hey, Mr. O'Hara, talk like that all the time. Every day at the same time, I knew that he also would go and take a number 2 in the bathroom. And he would genuinely need to take a 2, and he would do it. And then it would be with little fanfare. He would come back, and it wasn't a huge deal. So I allowed it. Well, one day, the fire alarm started going off, and we weren't told about it, and I've never run into this. What do you do when a student is taking a 2 and the fire alarm is going? Because you're responsible for getting all of your students out of the...
well, I also think it's funny that you knew he was taking a 2.
Well, I didn't. I forgot. That he was taking a 2. And little Kayla... Little sweet Kayla yelled out, "Wait, Mr. O'Hara, Justin's pooping. What do we do?" And I was like, "Oh, you're right, Kayla. What do we do?" So we all kind of go out into the hallway. We go out to the leave. Luckily, I see my assistant principal there, and I say, "Hey, assistant principal, Justin is in the bathroom, and he's taking a 2. What do I do?" And he did not. My principal did not respond to me. He just silently walked into the bathroom. Within 1 second, he came back out, and his only words were, "He's finishing." Now, I don't know exactly what he observed, sight, smell, or other, in the bathroom that led him to believe that number 2 was coming to an end.
The flush, maybe.
The flush? I don't know. But and then Justin came out. So my principal...
He's finishing.
He's finishing.
Scared the crap out of him. That's what he did. One of the reasons why I love being a teacher is that kids are so funny. And I know that if I had another job, I would just miss the joy that young people bring to my life daily, all of the time. I mean, they keep me so happy because they're just so funny. It's so fun to be around young people.
Oh, I think it's the end of the episode. So let's recap. We took a listen to the history of how we got here and explored a case study on lockouts. We heard about bringing nature to your school with naturepedagogy.org. We examined some visible learning from John Hattie's Effect Size. And we shared some battle stories in the Teacher's Lounge. So what do you think? What did we miss? Do you have something that you want to share? Visit us at educationpop.org and let us know. Please, if you liked listening to this episode, become a member and get access to PD certificates, case study documents, as well as helping to support our program. Next episode, we will explore what rigor really means, dress code issues in the 21st century, how to make service hours relevant and meaningful, Charlotte Danielson's framework, and how to raise attendance and destroy your no-show list. Thank you to our co-hosts, Sean Wheeler, Catherine Bussert, along with our other contributors, Joseph Shashelski, Audrey Elsas, Rose Martin, Maeve O'Hara, Josephine O'Hara, and as always, Lauren Lasco. Thank you for following and sharing us on social media. Have a great one. Bye-bye.